to me.
Information, news, and entertainment on demand.
WSRadio.com.
Welcome to the Changing Stage, music gear talk from the manufacturers and musicians who define the biz. Here's your host, Florentino Buenaventura.
That's right. You are tuning in to the Changing Stage radio show powered by the WS Radio Network. We are your source for the music biz, and I'm your host, Florentino. And like always, we have an amazing show for you. We've got a double reemergence talent that's tremendous talent. He's going to be coming on the radio with us. On the phone, we have Mr. Samuelle Prater, lead singer of Club Nouveau and solo artist extraordinaire. Samuelle, you there?
Yes, I am.
Awesome, sir. Hey, man. How you doing, brother?
Hey, I'm doing good. And that last name is Prater. Everybody calls it Prater. So don't feel bad. Everybody says Prater, but it's Prater.
You know what's funny, man? I know this, but you kind of got your little show notes and you read things. I've heard your name many times, brother. You're a hometown hero, man. I grew up in Sacktown. I remember I was talking with Jay the other day. I remember when you guys were on 16th Street, making it happen, getting that start out. And, we definitely appreciated you guys leading the way. We had a lot of tremendous talent come out of, the Sacramento area. And, I guess let's get started. I'm talking about, the days back in the time of growing up in Northern California. Tell me about how you got started in the music business. Well, how did you get started in music? Before we get to the business, how did you get started in music?
Well, I come from a musical family. So, growing up in Berkeley is where I grew up as a little kid, and a great city, by the way, a lot of adversity. For my dad, he had a gospel quartet group, so he sang, and every week, like Wednesdays and Thursdays, rehearsal for his quartet band was in our living room. So you had the drums, you had the guitars, you had all the the musicians and Fortran and the other guys who were singing. So that we grew up just watching, singing and stuff like that all the time. Then of course he'd have the what do they call them? The musicals. The churches. The church always had musicals, so we'd travel around the Bay Area, go to different churches and see all the different bands. And, my dad's band was the Zionairs, and they were pretty popular. So we grew up watching that. So we were, of course, in the choir ever since I was probably about 5 or 6 years old, and then started leading songs in the choir. But you don't really have any aspirations thinking that you're going to be this awesome singer at 5. But I knew that I did love to sing, and watching, of course, the Jacksons and listening to the radio, and Sam Cooke, of course, was my favorite vocalist of all time. I just, I knew it was something that was in my DNA, so to speak. Wow.
Well, you know what, man? It's funny. I hear that same story a lot with the artists that come on the show. You grow up in church, man, and you get that inspiration, and even music today. A lot of people don't realize where it came from. It was the spirituals that came out, that fueled the passions in the hearts of people to kind of move forward and carry on. So that's a great story, and your family being a big part of that's also another part of what we hear a lot, and that is testament to your great talent. And from there, obviously you at a young age jumped right into the to the big ocean of the music business. You started with Club Nouveau, and boom, unless there, maybe you had a couple of other groups before then. Tell us a little bit about that. What did you do before Club Nouveau, and then tell us a little bit about how you got with Club Nouveau.
Actually, again, like I said, everybody, my sister sings, I play piano, my brothers both play guitars, sing, I'm the only one who really took the path of doing it professionally. That's how much I cared about it and wanted to do it. But actually, it was, because I had went to high school, at Sonoma Valley High School.
Okay.
With Denzel Foster, who was the, Foster McElroy team.
Oh, yeah.
The other two guys, Yeah, the guys that really, you know, a lot of the sound musically and stuff from Club Nouveau. And he, you know, in high school we played basketball. You know, I played point guard. He was a forward, and, you know, we rode the bus out, you know, that, you know, all the time. And I'd be singing on the bus, and, you know, he was talking about he wanted to be a producer. And he said, man, you know, one day when I start producing, I'm going to call you so we can put together some music. So, you know, he graduated. He was probably about 4 years ahead of me. So the year I got there was his last year. So he, you know, I didn't see him for a couple of years. And then after my graduating year, like 84, 85, I had heard this song. It was like, you know, man, this song is great. What is this song? It's different. It's new, you know, and it was Rumors. And then come to find out it was a friend of mine that I also grew up with in Berkeley who was singer of Rumors, which was Mike Marshall, Marcus Thompson, all those guys. You know, they're all Berkeley guys.
Yeah.
And, you know, we all knew each other in elementary school. You know, and I'm thinking, oh, that's Mike. Oh, wow. You know, I'm glad for him. And then when somebody told me, hey, that was Denny Foster, who was part of the production on that, I was like, oh, man, he told me he was going to call me when he did some music. You know, and this song was just growing. You started hearing it once on the radio to 3, 4, 5 times a day on the radio. And before I could even, you know, really have anything bad to say about him, I remember I was leaving the house one day in the summer, getting ready to go to Davis Black Family Week. You know, you used to have that thing up in Davis at the university.
Yeah.
Black Family Day, yeah. You know, everybody out barbecuing and, you know, the schools, the colleges. I'm going to walk up the door, the phone rings, and I started at the answer because, you know, we were just getting ready to take off. You know, we were running behind, and something in me must have been the Holy Spirit that I could say now at this time. At that time, you know, we could say something. Oh, yeah. But now, I believe it was the Spirit that had me answer the phone. I picked it up, and it was Billy. And Billy said, hey, man, remember I told you? I said, yeah, man, I heard you did the song. Congratulations. But I thought you was going to call me. He said, that's why I'm calling you now. He said, Monday, I want to introduce you to a guy called named J. King, who's a friend of mine and partner in music, and we want to try you out on something. And from there, Monday rolled around. Of course, naturally, that whole weekend, I was pretty excited, thinking, hey, Monday, I got my first tryouts, you know. And rest was history. We recorded, I sang Jealousy, a verse of Jealousy, and a verse of Situation Number 9. Then they, you know, they said, hey, okay, well, you know, we'll give you a call, let you know what we think. A few days later, they called me and said, hey, we want to record in Alameda.
Yeah.
Boom. And I kid you not, from that moment, it seemed like it just was a whirlwind. It was just like recording. And Jealousy was on the radio like maybe a month after that. And after that, it just kind of just snowballed. Just bam, bam, bam. It was Jealousy. Then we was out doing shows. And next thing you know, we was on tour with Samuelle brothers. It was like a nonstop whirlwind. It was awesome. You know,
and it's amazing. I was doing some stuff over in Northern California at the time, and you guys were working in the studio that I'd worked in. Steve Counter was your engineer for a while there, and a really good friend of mine.
Oh, yeah, you kept my album with Too Tough Enough over there with Foster McElroy.
Yeah. So I lost track of him. I don't know where he's at, man, but that was, you know, it was a good time. And you guys went on to, you know, like we said on another show, you sold a few million records, which is no small feat, man. That's pretty amazing. What was that like? That must have been crazy, all the pandemonium and all the excitement. And, you know, you jump from playing in church, you know, you're doing an audition, and then now you're living the dream. Tell me about that. That's just mind blowing to me.
Well, you know, it was one of those things where it didn't change me in the sense that it changed my personality where I thought I was, you know, like this big shot or anything. Because it was happening so fast. I was just enjoying the ride. You know, it was like going to an amusement park and it being all that you thought it was going to be. For me, it was like, you know, you got to travel, you know, see all these different places. And, you know, when we were young, you know, like 19, you know, you're like, I get to go where? You know, you travel across the United States, and you go over to Europe, you go to Germany, you go all these different places. And it was happening just like that. So for me, I didn't have time to even develop an ego, so to speak. You know what I mean? It was like one big, you know, fun vacation for me. It was just like I said, living out a dream. And, you know, when people say, you know, it's changed people, they thought they, you know, oh man, they thought they were all this and all that. It never did that to me. I always stayed humble because I knew it was, you know, it was a blessing. I knew, you know, being able to do what I did, the way it was happening, was nothing but God. I knew that. Yeah. You know what I mean? And I really didn't want to abuse that at any time. But again, being young, you go out to travel, you have, it was fun for me. It was an awesome time. And I knew it was not that I was better than anyone else. I just knew that this was a break for me. I was just one of the blessed few to get a break.
Yeah, and you know what? That's exactly it. I'm a believer as well, and that definitely is what I see. And sometimes breaks happen early on. Sometimes they come back around again. And I know that we're going to talk a little bit about in the next segment, this next phase that you have coming up. You've got the new Club Nouveau album out. You also have the solo project. With that said, what would be one message that you'd like to say within the next 45 seconds to our listeners who are just getting into the business?
We're just getting into the business?
Yeah.
Well, I would basically tell them, read up a lot. I mean, there's a lot of things that are available, a lot of information and things that are available to you now that was never available to us back in the day. You don't need a major deal in order to do music anymore. Like I said, read up on publishing, read up on writing, read up on, how to promote, which naturally the internet is a huge tool. Radio, like I'm doing with you right now, a huge tool.
Oh, yeah.
Things we didn't have access to years ago. You got television, you got video, you got YouTube. I mean, there's so many different ways. But read up. Make sure you want to do this. Don't do it for the money. Do it for the love. If you do it for the money, you'll quit, you'll be discouraged.
It's all about the passion. Yeah, definitely. Hey, we're going to take a pause for the cause. We got a couple of minutes that we're going to let our sponsors talk to us. This is Florentino, and we are the Changing Stage radio show powered by the WS Radio Network. We'll be right back with you with Samuelle Prater.
Thank you for listening to WS Radio. Improve your business and your life with useful information from experts and thought leaders. WS Radio is radio with ROI.
You may have heard me brag about Progressive Medical Center and just how much they've helped me with my health. And Dr. Goley, one thing that you have helped so many people with is migraines.
Unfortunately, there are millions and millions of Americans who are suffering with migraines and headaches, and they're debilitating because it affects the quality of their life, and they cannot function properly. At Progressive, we get to the root cause because we understand that migraines could be caused by nutritional deficiencies, hormonal imbalances, believe it or not, delayed food sensitivities. And once we determine what the real reason is, we put a plan of action together with medication that we get them off slowly, and we put them on an all-natural approach, and the results are amazing.
Incredible. I mean, there's so many people that can say they don't live their lives with migraines anymore thanks to Progressive Medical Center.
And that's what's exciting and rewarding to us as physicians, because we help our patients take control of their health, and that's why they're living well.
Why don't you get a hold of Progressive Medical Center today? Don't live in pain. Don't have migraines anymore. Just go to their website, progressivemedicalcenter.com.
This is your life. Live it well.
Your guy, Doug Young, here for Sports Squawk Saturday with your guy, Doug Young, here on WSRadio.com. Hear hot Charger talk from the biggest names in sports every Saturday here on WS Radio.
In the military, things can change in an instant. The Navy Mutual Aid Association, we understand, because it's our life too. That's why our dedication to serving the life insurance needs of our military veterans and their families is unrivaled. Navy Mutual offers superior life insurance protection without military service restrictions and limitations. A single focus on providing the peace of mind military families are looking for. That's what we do. Navy Mutual, insuring those who serve. Call 800-628-6011 or go to NavyMutual.org.
Do you want to be a professional coach? Are you in business trying to make a real difference with people you manage or work with? Have you started a coaching practice that isn't quite getting off the ground? Get the skills you need to be a successful coach today with the Coaches Training Program from Accomplishment Coaching. The Coaches Training Program will show you how to help others focus and be more fulfilled. Whether you want to improve your company's bottom line or create a thriving coaching practice, Accomplishment Coaching can give you the distinctions and practices you need to coach others effectively today. Accomplishment Coaching has spent 6 years developing a cutting-edge coaches training program that will have you ready to coach people professionally in just 12 months, and you don't have to take time off work to do it. To find out more about the Coaches Training Program, just call 1-888-548-6813. That's 1-888-548-6813. 888-848-6813.
Talk to me.
Information, news, and entertainment on demand.
WSRadio.com.
Welcome to the Changing Stage, music gear talk from the manufacturers and musicians who define the biz. Here's your host, Florentino Buenaventura.
Yes, it's the Changing Stage. You have returned to us. My name is Florentino, and we are here with the extraordinary Samuelle Prater on phone with us. Hey, Samuelle, you there?
I'm here.
Awesome. Great. Yeah, we had to take a pause for the cause. So, and we were just talking about some great things about your growing up in the Bay Area, being with a family that was musical, loving, and spiritual, giving that praise to the Lord and getting that break, like you said, the Holy Spirit gave you a call, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, exactly.
And there you were in the spotlight, and you were making records, 2 million records, of the first album, and 10 millions total, or something along those lines, if I remember rightly. And so you guys have done such incredible things. Now you're back into you're back into the fire from the frying pan, right? You guys are out there touring. I was there at the concert at the Pala Casino, and you guys were rocking it, man. And I have to say, brother, you look like you're still 20 years old, man.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. I mean, it's like I say, it's a lifestyle. I've always loved exercising. I do like personal training also, I've always done that on the side. I've always loved, fitness, period, whether it be martial arts, basketball, working out, I've always been involved with it. So that helps, and of course, like I said, just keeping God's word close, and the heart and the mind into my life, and, having a great, wonderful wife and, family, that all keeps you, it'll keep you younger. That old lie people told you about, once you settle down, they do any things that, it ages you, and you never know. That's just the opposite. If you're in the right relationship.
Yeah. It fuels you, man, right? It fuels that.
Yeah, exactly.
Fuels the passions in multiple areas.
Yeah, you're not so good to do dumb stuff as much as you used to.
Yeah, well, definitely. I know that age provides a little wisdom. So, and as long as you keep that sprightly step, man, that's all that matters. And you were dancing, you were singing, you were making it happen that night. And you guys, you've launched a new single with a credible video. I love the way you guys do that whole pause, and then when when you or Valerie start singing, you guys start grooving to it. Kind of tell us how that got started, and how you guys took a little hiatus from a little time. I wouldn't say don't call it a comeback, because y'all been here for years, but how did
after we did the Life, Love, and Pain, the whole thing was we were all going to do our own solo things. So I think I did it a little sooner because Foster McElroy decided to go out on their own right after, the success of the first album with Club Nouveau.
Yeah.
And,
you had your own single, right?
Yeah, the single, So You Like What You See. We left Warner Brothers and got to deal with Atlantic Records with Sylvia Rome.
Yeah.
And, myself in Vogue, we were all under the same deal, and of course they came out and went through the roof, and then when that came out, the first single, it was also #1, So You Like What You See. And in the video, Tyra Banks, if you see the video, if you go to YouTube and put up So You Like What You See, Samuelle, you'll see Tyra Banks in it. Before she was the huge success she is now, she was just getting ready actually to go to Milan with her mom and start doing, some more modeling. She was just, she was up and coming.
Yeah.
She was like 17 years old, 16, 17 years old at that time. So,
if you only knew, right?
And then, yeah, exactly. So, with that, so the years away, everybody kind of doing their own thing. Club Nouveau, Val and Jay, they did a few more albums afterwards under Nouveau Groove and different things. They didn't quite have the success as the one that Life Love and Pain was the first one with all of us, and then years passed by. We started thinking, hey, man, it'd be nice to get back out and do, some Club Nouveau dates and things, and maybe put together some stuff. And then me and Jay talked, and we talked, and we went out and started doing shows. Next thing you know, we threw a few new songs into the show, which is the first single, Falling Love, and I'm going to change the world. People really responded well, so we said, hey, we better get the studio and put something else out. Because at first we were just going to do greatest hits, and maybe add a couple of bonus tracks.
Yeah.
But, we're all in the same season right now. Everybody's real conscious, which is the name of the album, Conscious.
Conscious, yeah.
Consciousness, yeah. And, everybody's in the same season, spiritually, physically, mentally. We all take care of ourselves. Nobody's, Val has, 4 kids and a husband, and she stays in incredible shape. She's gifted in that sense. Jay, he exercises all the time. Jay's just an ultimate businessman.
Yeah.
And we all, when we get on stage, we just have fun. We enjoy it. It's not like work.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like we have fun. We enjoy it. It's a business, but we enjoy it. And we actually enjoy each other's company. When we travel and go places, that's so important. The energy and, and the positivity amongst us. We have nothing negative around us. Anything negative, that doesn't stay around us long, because we know negativity has no place in any business, let alone this business. And, so far the single is doing well. It's on 7 Soul Radio. It's getting ready to hit Urban Radio, to leave in about another week and a half. It is available online at iTunes and everywhere that you can get any digital downloads, the single. So, That Ain't Love, as well as the album Consciousness.
Yeah.
We're just loving it, man. We're loving the ride. We putting God at the helm, and we just gonna ride it.
Yeah. When you guys launch too, you're gonna get some shelf space at Walmart. And as crazy as it sounds, you've arrived when you can get some shelf space at Walmart, man, because they don't give it to just anybody. They want projects that are gonna, definitely be on their way. So, I've been impressed, by all the new stuff that you guys are doing, and the direction, and of course Val, she looked great that day, and Jay is, he's an amazing man. We've had a couple of talks. He's been a wealth of knowledge. He's been able to really kind of kick down the wisdom to a lot of these young listeners. So I think we talked a bit about that. We're all about people in the business that are either trying to make it, you want to find out what it's like to be in the business, or, are just really making it happen right now. And, that's the kind of, this is the information that they needed to hear, what it was like, and, and what you're doing now to make it, because it's completely different worlds, right? It was a whole different world back then. You had to sign with a major label. You had to, you had to spend tons of money on recording. You didn't have your own studio, man. If you had your own studio, it was a miracle. You had to go record in different places.
Exactly. I mean, again, and to finish answering the other question, that was pretty much Jay's idea for the video, to do it like what's that program that used to come on the Twilight Zone? That was pretty much Jay's idea. He thought that would be cool to do the steel, how we start the steel, then we break out and go back into first freeze frame. That's pretty much Jay's idea. It came out, at first we were like, we didn't think, but then when the people started saying they really, really liked it, we just said, okay, I guess maybe the idea was great. Maybe we did do it the right way, Yeah. But, and as well as you say, it's changed. The business has changed. If an artist is willing to do the work, they can make it. But you can't count on anyone else doing the work for you anymore. It's available to you. All the information's out there. All the tools are out there. Studios, equipment, everything. You can record from your home. You can, like you said, you don't need to go into major studios anymore. If you have any musicians around you, if you're a musician yourself, and do what you do. Don't try and do what someone else does. Don't try and mimic and copy and just say, hey, this is what's hot right now, let me do this. No, just do the music that pours out of you, and be true to it, and you believe in you. Because if you're not sure about you, believe me, nobody else will be either.
Yeah,
you got to be true to what you do, what music you love, because there's a genre, there's an audience for every type of music out there.
There is, and with this internet now, we're making radio available to the whole wide world. It used to be our little small geographical area. So, you know what? We've got about a minute 45 left. I want to find out about this new project that you're doing, because you're not only doing Club Nouveau, but you've got your own solo project that you're building, and want to hear about that, and then hopefully you'll come back on when it's released, and we'll talk even in depth about that. So you got a minute for that, brother?
Definitely. I myself and my production partner, and also he's the music director for Club Nouveau, is Ron Ugly Fingers Prater. We come to the studio, we just basically, like I just said, whatever on our hearts, whatever on our mind that day, and what's going on in the world is what we're talking about now. It'll basically be like every great topic: life, love, pain, and a lot falls under that genre. But, under life, you got politics, you got religion, you got all these things. Pain, you got, of course, relationships, breakups, lost loved ones. There's all kinds of things under pain. And love, of course, is a big genre, too. You have, again, relationships with not only your spouse or, with your children, with people, with a lot of things. So it's going to be covering all that. I have a tune called What About Love that's over there. It's got a Caribbean reggaeton, a happy music feel, but it has a message in it. I See You, which is a song, a beautiful kind of mid-tempo ballad about a person who was in a bad relationship, whose heart was, broken, and he was in another relationship, and he just realizes how awesome this person is that's in front of him. Because, before he was still holding on to the old, but now he sees, that he has the jewel that he was supposed to have in front of him. Yeah. It's called I See You.
That's awesome. I'm sorry, brother. That tune comes in. I know that we got that time going. Hey, Samuelle, thank you so much, man. We really got to get you back. I want to hear more about the album. Thanks, folks, for tuning in. This is the Changing Stage Radio Show powered by the WS Radio Network. I want to say thanks to the Lord for making this happen, and we'll be back with you again next week.
Do you want to be a professional coach? Are you in business trying to make a real difference with people you manage or work with? Have you started a coaching practice that isn't quite getting off the ground? Get the skills you need to be a successful coach today with the Coaches Training Program from Accomplishment Coaching. The Coaches Training Program will show you how to help others focus and be more fulfilled. Whether you want to improve your company's bottom line or create a thriving coaching practice, Accomplishment Coaching can give you the distinctions and practices you need to coach others effectively today. Accomplishment Coaching has spent 6 years developing a cutting-edge coaches training program that will have you ready to coach people professionally in just 12 months, and you don't have to take time off work to do it. To find out more about the Coaches Training Program, just call 1-888-548-6813. That's 1-888-548-6813.
Love to read but just don't have the time? With Audible.com, you can catch up on reading simply by listening. Audible has the largest collection of digital audiobooks, over 85,000 titles in every genre. Listen to a bestseller on your iPhone, BlackBerry, Android smartphone, or one of 500 other compatible devices. Visit audible.com/WS Radio today and get a free audiobook when you try Audible free for 14 days. That's audible.com/WS Radio.
You've heard me bragging about Progressive Medical Center and how they've helped me feel so much healthier. But one thing, Dr. Agoli, that a lot of people come to you with is just unexplained pain. They just can't get any relief. Why can Progressive Medical Center's pain management center help them?
First of all, we have to acknowledge that pain is for real, and you've got acute pain and chronic pain. Here's the problem. That acute pain turns to chronic, which is long-standing, and no one's getting to the root cause. There's several key diagnostic components that help us get to the root of what's causing this pain. Is it inflammation? Once we do a thorough evaluation to get to the root cause, determine if it's structural or if it's a metabolic issue. And this way, we put an individualized program for pain management involving correcting the spine, using certain injections when necessary, and we get our patients out of pain quicker, and they stay out of pain because we teach them how to live their life well.
Don't let yourself live in pain any longer. Get a hold of Progressive Medical Center today at progressivemedicalcenter.com.
Progressive Medical, this is your life, live it well.
When it comes to printers, Canon technology has changed the way images and text are put to paper. Canon's laser beam printer technology has redefined both color and black and white printing standards in over 80% of the world's laser printer. Canon's bubble jet printing technology has completely revolutionized color printing by consistently delivering new innovations from personal use and home office businesses to corporate solutions. Canon printers have the technology and reliability you're looking for. Learn more at Canon.com.
Talk to me.
Information, news, and entertainment on demand.
WSRadio.com.
Welcome to the Changing Stage, music gear talk from the manufacturers and musicians who define the biz. Here's your host, Florentino Buenaventura.
That's right. You are listening to the Changing Stage radio show powered by the WS Radio Network, your source to be in the know on gear in the music biz. I'm your host, Florentino, and like always, we have an amazing show for you today. In fact, we have a very hot rising talent. She's calling in, and we're going to invite Miss Nick West on. Are you there, Nick?
I'm here. Hi. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing awesome, Nick. Thank you very much. I know you got a busy schedule and you're able to kind of get us in today, and such an amazing talent. I want to kind of give you a little tout here. You are a bass player extraordinaire. You've played with some amazing talents as well. Prince is probably one of the big ones that I've heard of, and you've also played with Dave Stewart from the Eurythmics, and I mean the list goes on and on. You're in a business, especially on an instrument that's predominantly dominated by men. What prompted you to get into playing bass and also singing?
Well, I was about 16, and I heard Michael Jackson's "You Want to Be Starting Something," and of course it's very bass-driven. So I asked my dad what instrument that was, and he said bass, and I instantly fell in love, and I think it was okay for me playing the bass because I was a tomboy. I was playing basketball, running track, and doing everything the boys were doing anyway, so I think I just kind of fit right in.
Yeah, I was reading that your whole family is totally into the music biz, and that is, that's always a great thing. And in fact, I mean, a lot of the guests that come on this show are very family driven. I know this might be new for you in the show, but we've had some great talent. We've had some other bass players as well. In fact, we had Mr. Nathan East here in the studios a couple of weeks ago.
That's my buddy. East meets West.
Exactly. Either that or I was going to start a whole new East-West battle going on. So that's pretty...
Yeah, he actually... Yeah, that was his idea, to do an album called East Meets West. So we'll do that one day.
Okay, I'm gonna totally lay claim that I thought of that. So you got started. You were 16 years old, and you started playing. And from what I understand, you were actually playing guitar. And then you said, "No, it's going to be about the bass. The bass is me. I feel that." Kind of tell us a little bit about that.
So I started playing guitar when I was 12. Of course, my dad was a guitar player. He played for a lot of famous gospel and Christian artists.
Oh, yeah.
So he's been doing it for a long time. And so I grew up just watching him play. So it was only natural for me to want to do what my dad was doing. And so when I turned 12, I had to take an elective. And I said, well, I don't want to be in bands, so I will play the guitar like my dad.
Yeah.
So I started playing that, and I'd seen a lot of female acoustic guitar players kind of doing their thing, but when I heard the bass, I said, okay, now this is different. I want to try this. I don't see a bunch of girls doing this. I want to try it. And for me, I've always been the type of person that if it's a challenge or if no one else is doing it, then that was my calling to do it.
Yeah, well, it definitely suits you. Well, I've watched the videos. I've seen some of the performances, even seen you on Glee, and you are the bass. I mean, it is an extension of who you are. I mean, but you're more than that. You're also a vocalist. We got about a minute before we hit the commercials. Tell us how you kind of moved into being a singer from playing bass.
Well, I actually started, I was singing since I was 3, but always singing in a group with my sisters or in a choir or in, a large thing. never singing solos, never singing on my own. So when I did my first album, Just in the Nick of Time, I just wanted it to be an instrumental album because I said, I'm a bass player. I'm not a good singer. I don't want to sing, and I don't want to hear my voice alone. So when I got in there, Fender was actually doing a promo where I was the face of a new amplifier called the Black Beauty.
Okay.
So we had to do a song with vocals and lyrics that said something about a Black Beauty. So I went in there to sing this. I hated my voice, but they really loved it. So I'm like, okay, well, this will work. We'll do that. And then a friend of mine, his name is Victor Bailey, a really, really great bass player, told me, okay, if you really want to make it in this industry, you need to sing as well. There's enough of us that just play bass. So I think that's what really kind of made me move into singing as well as playing.
Well, awesome. That's kind of a good closeout for this segment. We're going to be coming back with Miss Nick West very shortly. We're going to take a pause for the cause with our commercials. Keep tuning in because it's an amazing story, and you're going to be hearing about a hot talent very shortly.
Are you an adventurous wine drinker? Would you enjoy trying a bold red with dark fruit and a spicy finish from Hungary? Or an amphora-style Chivi Pinot with layers of complex flavors? Carpathian Wines hand selects extraordinary wines from premier Central European wineries. At CarpathianWines.com, you'll find amazing dry whites, big juicy reds, even the famous Tokaja Azul. Discover award-winning limited production wines from the heart of Central Europe. Find them only at CarpathianWines.com.
I raised $8,000 to build schools for South African children. After realizing how many people go hungry in San Diego, I now volunteer at a food pantry.
I'm spending the next year doing volunteer projects across 3 countries and helping in ways they designate to be the most helpful.
The World Link program at the Joan B. Kroc Institute for Peace and Justice recognizes the potential of youth as agents of social change. Learn how you can help youth become a generation of leaders in action at peace.sandiego.edu.
You've heard me bragging about Progressive Medical Center and how they've helped me feel so much healthier. But one thing, Dr. Agoli, that a lot of people come to you with is just unexplained pain. They just can't get any relief. Why can Progressive Medical Center's Pain Management Center help them?
First of all, we have to acknowledge that pain is for real, and you've got acute pain and chronic pain. Here's the problem. That acute pain turns to chronic, which is long-standing, and no one's getting to the root cause. There's several key diagnostic components that help us get to the root of what's causing this pain. Is it inflammation? Once we do a thorough evaluation to get the root cause, determine if it's structural or if it's a metabolic issue. And this way, we put an individualized program for pain management involving correcting the spine, using certain injections when necessary, and we get our patients out of pain quicker, and they stay out of pain because we teach them how to live their life well.
Don't let yourself live in pain any longer. Get a hold of Progressive Medical Center today at progressivemedicalcenter.com.
Progressive Medical, this is your life, live it well.
When did men lose their way? Was it Hollywood portraying us as wimps? Is it the daytime serials where we're on our hands and knees begging for affection from women? Is it all the talk shows telling us women want a sensitive guy or a macho man? Well, guy, how does it feel to spend $200 on a couple of dates and never hear from the girl again? Doc Love's The System can change all that. 35-plus years of Doc Love's life has been devoted to a simple question posed to over 10,000 women. Why do you choose to stay with one guy versus another? Doc Love's The System is a realistic approach to dating written just for men. Visit DocLove.com today. That's DocLove.com today for more about The System. It's time to reclaim your manhood. DocLove.com. The System will change your life.
If you sell online, Genco Marketplace is the leading wholesaler of retail returns and surplus inventories, liquidating $7 million worth of merchandise daily. Connect at WSRadio.com/.com returns from the world's largest online retailer. .com Returns offers purchasing at liquidation prices with merchandise that's higher quality than returns from national chain stores. See for yourself at WSRadio.com/product returns. That's WSRadio.com/product returns.
When it comes to printers, Canon technology has changed the way images and text are put to paper. Canon's laser beam printer technology has redefined both color and black and white printing standards in over 80% of the world's laser printer. Canon's bubble jet printing technology has completely revolutionized color printing by consistently delivering new innovations from personal use and home office businesses to corporate solutions. Canon printers have the technology and reliability you're looking for. Learn more at Canon.com.
When times are tough, the tough start a business, and they will be well rewarded. What about you? Do you need part-time income? Are you ready to start saving on taxes as only a business owner can do? Then the Start a Business Toolbox is for you. This rich package of success tools includes workbooks, CDs, and DVDs featuring Robert Kiyosaki, Garrett Sutton, and other entrepreneur experts. The Toolbox shows how to win at taxes when starting a business, how to protect your assets, and build business credit. You get a free CPA consultation and $300 in savings certificates for your startup, all for just $99. That's right, the binder, 200-page workbook, 5 CDs and DVDs, and $300 in savings is just $99. Go to CorporateDirect.com and click on the Toolbox to order now. That's CorporateDirect.com or call 800-600-1760. That's 800-600-1760. Start winning in business today. Go to CorporateDirect.com for your toolbox.
I raised $8,000 to build schools for South African children. After realizing how many people go hungry in San Diego, I now volunteer at a food pantry.
I'm spending the next year doing volunteer projects across 3 countries and helping in ways they designate to be the most helpful.
The World Link program at the Joan B. Kroc Institute for Peace and Justice recognizes the potential of youth as agents of social change. Learn how you can help youth become a generation of leaders in action at peace.sandiego.edu.
Attention political advertisers. When you're thinking of the best way to market your campaign or issue, consider this. AOL advertising reaches more than 158 million voting-age Americans each month, more than twice as many as elected our president. Plus, whether you're building awareness, fundraising, or getting out the vote, AOL makes it easy to find the voters you want. So put your money where the voters are, online at AOL. To learn more, visit AOLadvertising.com/politics.
Do you need to learn what other great leaders already know? Whether it's for your business or your life, learning from the greats is the best way to become great yourself. Lifelong learning is what great leaders strive for. This is why we're offering the WCEO HQ Leadership Accelerator Series, available to CEOs and top executives. Programs like our Facilitative Leadership Program, a program devoted to creating personal development and leadership growth. Topics we cover are learning how to first lead yourself and then others, building a high-performance organization and teams, and tools in the toolkit. Learn the 6 essential skills of facilitative leadership. We're also offering Strategy, Leadership, and the Soul. It explores the concepts of the rapidly changing business landscapes, global interconnectedness, technological innovation, and the diversity of the needs of customers and employees. You'll take away the tools from all our programs to apply to your business right away. To learn more about the Leadership Accelerator Series, go to WCEOHQ-radio.org.
Can you imagine a world without children? A world where children don't play, or dream, or imagine.
At St. Jude Children's Research Hospital, we're working every day to find cures for diseases that strike down children, because we can't imagine a world without children. Can you?
Finding cures, saving children. St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. To learn how you can help, log on to our website, stjude.org.
Touch the screen. No, really, touch it. Go ahead and experience it. Imagine at your next trade show or event giving your customers and prospects a unique brand experience. Immersing them in your brand and creating an environment for them to not just see, but to virtually touch and feel your products and services. Multi-touch presentations enhance the touchscreen experience. Avery Marketing develops customized applications for multi-touch presentations. You can now interact with your media using multiple touches and gestures on video displays, giving your audience a customized, interactive experience that will leave them asking for more. To see some of our custom presentations and find out if multi-touch or any of our other marketing services are right for you, visit our website at averymarketing.com. Avery Marketing, fresh perspective, exceptional craft, inspired creative. Avery Marketing provides strategic brand marketing solutions that engage customers and prospects in your brand experience.
Besides the hard work of our incredible WS Radio staff that has decades of experience in the broadcast industry, one of the reasons WS Radio sounds so good is we use Or-Band technology. We are not alone. Over 50,000 professional broadcasters can't be wrong. From radio, TV, streaming to hardware and software, Or-Band has been supplying the broadcast industry for nearly 30 years. Great customer service and continued R&D separates Or-Band from the rest. Learn more at Or-Band.com.
Talk to me.
Information, news, and entertainment on demand.
WSRadio.com.
Welcome to the Changing Stage, music gear talk from the manufacturers and musicians who define the biz. Here's your host, Florentino Buenaventura.
You're back with the Changing Stage, powered by the WS Radio Network, and again, I'm Florentino with Miss Nick West. Are you there, Nick?
I'm here.
Oh, awesome. So we were just talking a little bit about some of your past history. Now you've actually got a couple of singles out right now. You've had your own album, Just in the Nick of Time. One of my favorite songs that you just remade and you functified it. Back in Black by AC/DC. Kind of tell us a little bit about your recording and all this other fun stuff that you're starting to do now with being away from being a side person. You're actually starting to get out in the front.
Well, it's crazy. Just in the Nick of Time was more of a soul, R&B soul with a little bit of funk type of album. And I went to New York maybe 2 years ago, maybe a year and a half, 2 years ago. Went to New York, and I was part of a band, and we played rock and lots of different like pop type of music. And we went into the studio to cut this song, Back in Black by AC/DC, and it was supposed to be for someone else to sing.
Oh, really? Okay.
All of a sudden, the manager says, "Hey, Nick, I want you to sing Back in Black." And I shook my head like, no, what do I look like? Like, I'm a black girl. You want me to sing this song? Like, no one's going to ever expect that. That's crazy. I can't sing that. I don't do it. No, I refuse. And she says, trust me, if you can sing this, think James Brown. If you can sing this like James Brown would sing it, trust me, people are going to be so amazed. And so I was like, well, James Brown, I can do James Brown, okay. So we went into the studio and cut the song. I said, turn off all the lights. I don't want anyone looking at me, and I'll sing the song. And seriously, like, I sang this song, and I was sweating, and I was thinking James Brown. I was in there doing footwork, all kinds of stuff when I sang it. And I think after doing Back in Black, something just clicked for me. It said, okay, I know that I love soul music. I know that I love R&B, but this rock has really, it's just excited me so much more.
Oh, yeah.
So
it was
the
awesome.
new album, the new album that I'm coming out with called Say Something is an infusion of funk and rock, and it excites me. So, yeah, that's how that came about.
Well, it's kind of reminiscent of one of my biggest inspirations. Not a whole lot of people know her, Betty Davis. Are you familiar with Betty Davis?
Yes, you know what? It's so crazy. Everyone tells me that.
Yeah.
Betty Davis.
Well, she was the one who kind of inspired, a generation. She inspired Miles Davis, her ex-husband, and she inspired Jimi Hendrix. And I really see that you're kind of taking on that mantle now. Obviously it's not the 70s, and she's doing other things at this point. I'm not really sure where she's at, but she was definitely, she was ahead of her time. And I think that's where you're at too. And you're also have the advantage that she didn't quite have, where you've got all this different media out there that can support you. And that's an amazing thing. What kind of things are you starting to do now? I know that there might be some TV stuff in the works. I know some stuff, we can't really mention, or there's some exciting stuff going on, but I think that you're also moving into that direction where you're going to be in front of people, not just in their ears.
Yeah, I think, so I did an interview. Okay, so I went to Prince's listening party. He called me and says, hey, Nick, I want you to come over and take a listen to what I'm coming up with. Because, you know, he just got his music back from Warner Brothers. He got his catalog back. So now he was able to do a bunch of just his own music again. And so he wanted me to come and listen to it. He literally invited maybe 10 people to this listening party, and he wanted to know what I thought about it. Well, Dr. Funkenberry wanted to do an interview on Prince. Okay, well, what happened at the listening party? What was the music like? And Prince sent them in my direction. He says, hey, interview Nick West because she was there and she can tell you what she thought of everything. So I did an interview with Dr. Funkenberry, and over 40,000 people tuned into that, and
wow.
Everybody's just really excited about it. And it was all on video. And after that, Prince says, you know what? You have a really good, video presence. So he's been talking to me about writing me into a script for a certain thing that he's got coming up that I will not mention, but it's pretty exciting.
Secret agent stuff you guys can't hear.
Yeah, it's pretty exciting. So, yeah, I think from doing Glee to doing this interview where people were actually able to see, you know, my personality on camera, because, you know, it's kind of different. You see me on stage versus interviews and on camera and things like that. Just really, I think, drove him to want to do something more. So, yeah, some really cool things coming up.
Yeah, I mean, first time I seen you, like I said, you right there in Glee, you stole that episode with the two characters that were singing. I can't remember the name of the song, but you were just there, just like this dynamo. Like I said, you've got this presence with the bass. You become it. You use it as it moves with you. It's just it's something to see. If you folks haven't seen this lady in concert, you know, I haven't had a chance to see you live yet, and I'm looking forward to that. But you folks got to take a look at her on YouTube, wherever you can. And speaking of concerts, are you going to be coming to concert? Are you going to do any live dates to support the album?
Yes, actually I am. Well, my first starts overseas. I'll be doing some shows in Japan, Germany, Mexico, and then I come back, and then after, I think, July, I'll start doing some U.S. dates. So.
Awesome. Well, you got to come to San Diego. We're based here in San Diego, so we want to have you live on the show as well. I mean, it'd be great when you get out on tour, bring you into the studio. Now, with that, and you know, with about 2 minutes left, I know you've got some great stories from the road and from some of the things you've done. I mean, you've already given us some amazing stuff. What's one of the one memories that sticks out in your mind that kind of just, you think back to when you're doing something in the business and you kind of need that inspiration?
Well, I tell this story when I do my shows live, but it's really inspirational for me. So when I met Prince for the first time, he gave me 4 songs to play. But when he called me, I was like, oh my gosh, I have to make sure I know every single Prince song. But the crazy thing was, when I got there to Minneapolis, none of them were his songs. He had me learning other songs, some Larry Graham stuff, Sly and the Family Stone, and he had me play Thank You for Letting Me Be Myself.
Oh, yeah.
And he says, okay, play that. So I played it, getting nervous, and I'm just like, oh, I don't know if I can do it. He gets over there on the piano, and he starts playing, and he's like, look, Nick, you weren't amazing at what you do, then you trust me, you wouldn't be here. I just wanted to see what you do. I wanted to see it live for myself. So just do you. So I just did me. I mean, it gave me confidence to just play the song like I would play the song. And he's just like, okay, that's really good, but let me see your bass. He takes my bass, and he's just like, you do you, but let me show you, because him and Larry Graham are like the best of friends. He's like, let me show you exactly what Larry did, and then you can add it to what you do. He took the bass and he slapped it and just dug into the song. And I think after that moment, I realized that, okay, I can be more aggressive on the bass. I can be a whole lot more aggressive. So after my first meeting with him, everything just kind of on stage for me became more aggressive.
Awesome.
So that was a big turning point for me.
And that is a great, that's a great story, because that's an inspiration. Most of our listeners are people that are just kind of getting started in the business. And that song right there tells me that we're out of time. So it's never enough time, especially with you. You've been awesome. You've been a dear, and I appreciate you being here. My name is Florentino with Nick West, and this is the Changing Stage radio show on the WS Radio Networks. Stay tuned for more awesome talk radio. And thanks again, Nick.
All right, thank you.
Progressive Medical.
Hey, this is Heidi Rue, and you know, Progressive Medical Center has literally changed my life and my health, but I'm not the only one. Adele suffered from bone deterioration, bone overgrowth, profound muscle discomfort, physical exhaustion, and mental fog. In fact, the bone deterioration became so serious that she had to have back surgery. Well, after the surgery, she still didn't feel well, and so that's when she heard about Progressive Medical Center. Progressive Medical Center discovered that her adrenals weren't working properly, her hormones were out of whack, and the drugs she had been taking were doing more harm than good. Adele came into Progressive Medical Center in a walker, physically and mentally exhausted. But now she's a world traveler. She hikes and walks several miles a day, and it's all thanks to Progressive Medical Center. 770-676-6000. 770-676-6000.
Progressive Medical. This is your life. Live it well.
Take a break from politics. Tune in and learn something. WS Radio shows are worth your time and are filled with tips and advice. Add us to your lunch routine, and we'll give you a meal for your mind. Connected World Magazine is dedicated to reporting on the next generation of M2M and connected devices. Subscribe today for only $12.97 at connectedworldmag.com/subscribe. Written for the fast-paced, device-enthused individual or business, Connected World Magazine provides unique insight and analysis to all things connected. Subscribe today for only $12.97 at connectedworldmag.com/subscribe. Connected World. Living the connected life has never been easier.
Do you want to be a professional coach? Are you in business trying to make a real difference with people you manage or work with? Have you started a coaching practice that isn't quite getting off the ground? Get the skills you need to be a successful coach today with the Coaches Training Program from Accomplishment Coaching. The Coaches Training Program will show you how to help others focus and be more fulfilled. Whether you want to improve your company's bottom line or create a thriving coaching practice, Accomplishment Coaching can give you the distinctions and practices you need to coach others effectively today. Accomplishment Coaching has spent 6 years developing a cutting-edge coaches training program that will have you ready to coach people professionally in just 12 months, and you don't have to take time off work to do it. To find out more about the Coaches Training Program, just call 1-888-548-6813. That's 1-888-548-6813.
Hi, this is Felix Taberna, host of Race and Sports Radio. Join our cast and crew every Saturday and Sunday right here at WSRadio.com, beginning at 8 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Eastern. Race and Sports Radio.